Hey everyone, it's a beautiful sunny day here in the Pacific Northwest, and I just got done earlier today facilitating the donation of a washer, a dryer, and a fridge out of this space that I'm sitting in front of. And frankly, as we've been working on cleaning this hoard, things that are actually useful, donatable, pass alongable are few and far between, honestly. So I'm glad I was able to facilitate that. And, you know, I really had this realization after that piece was done. And another surprising event took place shortly after that. Well, I'll put it this way, something I wasn't exactly prepared for. And I did move through that, but I will say that the mindfulness exercise that I went through earlier this morning came into play immediately. And a lot of times we are in a group or counseling or whatever, and we do things and we think, that's just, that's going to be useful somewhere down the road. Well, I could say within about 2 hours of learning this exercise about letting your problems kind of float down the river, it really helped me ground me in that moment anyway. But the other thing that really made me want to come on here is talking about the fact that if you're in a caregiving role, you can experience burnout. You can experience post-traumatic stress, complex post-traumatic stress. It exists, definitely exists for kids who have survived the hoard like I did. Hoarding is abuse. That's my take. Self-abuse, spousal, children, family, environment. There's all kinds of ways that hoarding is abuse. But I want to take a minute and talk about the caregiving aspect of it. And if you've been in that caregiving role in any capacity, from, hey, I, put minutes on your track phone, all the way up to, hey, I, helped you on the toilets today, you run the gamut in the caregiving arena. And what thing that really was clear to me today was how little consideration is given to the person who's doing the caregiving, who's doing the work, who's sorting the hoard, who's working diligently to resolve their parents' issues. I'll say in this case, there's a big impact on me as a person, as the caregiver, as the person, as my boyfriend who is the support of me. Um, you know, we matter too in these scenarios, and there's a reason why we do things like schedule appointments. There's a reason why we say, hey, this is the day and the time that we can do XYZ. And I think there needs to be more awareness of the fact that sometimes we're doing the very best we can in that situation, and there's no malice, there's no ill will. It's just, this is how today's going. If that person has dementia, or if you struggle with some triggers based on maybe what the hoarder has said to you in the past, the verbal vomit that you may have been subjected to as a person moves toward more cognitive decline. And I don't really think people take that into account when they have an expectation of when you're going to do something for them that's non-emergent, it's not life-threatening, there's not really a need to rush to whatever that task is at that moment. So I just was realizing that the question I kept asking myself is, what about me? What about Tammy? What about how this whole situation impacts how I am operating in the world? And I think it's important for us to take a step back sometimes and ask that question. How am I doing? Where am I going with this? How can I navigate through this moment And I just feel like that is sorely missed in these scenarios. So just remember to take care of you, remember to wear your protective equipment, set boundaries, limits. Um, if you're working with someone, like, you have a game plan ahead of time so you're on the same page. And to me, the value of that communication with your partner or your team or whoever you're working with is invaluable when a surprise comes up like it did today. And because we had had previous conversations and we knew where we were headed and the end goal, we were able to be a united front. And I do feel like that was super valuable um, in today's situation. So, anyway, remember to take care of you. Remember your mental health and wellness matters. And not everything is an emergency just because someone else says it is. All right. Have a good day.